So a couple of new people on this recording that weren't on the last one. So I'm not sure if everybody knows Sarah, who is in the top left of my screen, but obviously I'm just going to wave now. So Sarah is also one of the practitioners. So she's a metabolic balance practitioner, nutritionist as well. So we're going to do this recording between both of them. And there's a few things we just wanted to touch on before we sort of started answering questions. A lot of us, and I know not everybody went through the detox, not everybody is at the same stage in the detox, but there's quite a few people that did do the 2 days, then they did the strict phase. So I thought it would be good to go over just fats and oils, introducing them, how much, all of that. So I'm going to let Sarah do the talking on fats and oils, and then I will jump in after that.
But first, hang on, I'll be back.
First, we've got some show and tell, I think.
Oh, yay.
As long as Scott doesn't drop it.
In between here. We've got ourselves a Halloween metabolic balance capsicum with mince in it. Happy Halloween, everyone. Halloween. But there's
we were not the chef. This is Micah.
This is Micah with us. And yeah, so well done,
I
Micah.
love it.
That is completely metabolic balance.
The metabolic balance meal there. So good job, Micah.
There you go. Sorry about that. With using fats and oils. So Sarah, back to you again.
I'm back.
All right, so fats and oils. So you've probably been allocated, so everyone gets allocated different fats and oils. So you've probably got either ghee, coconut oil, olive oil, or flaxseed oil. So probably the most important thing to note is the difference, like there's cold pressed oils and then there's oils for heating as well. So we recommend the flaxseed oil is a cold pressed oil, and your olive oil as well. So not heating both of these oils. So just using them on salads, you can make like a nice dressing. And then your coconut oil and your ghee is more for like your cooking your proteins, roasting your veggies, frying, and everything like that. So quantities, we want to aim to get in 2 to 3 tablespoons in across the day. Now, we don't need you to measure this or anything like that, but we want to be making sure that you're getting in good amounts in your meals. Breakfast, obviously, if you're having like yogurt or a smoothie or something, don't need to add in your oils. But with your lunch and your dinner, cooking your protein in some oils, drizzling an oil over your salad, roasting your veggies in your oils, cooking your veggies in oils, just making sure you're getting in good amounts. Because we have restricted the body for 2 weeks from the oils, your body will really start to crave those oils as well. Fats are essential to our body. Every cell in our body needs fats. So really, really important to be getting that in. Also really good for hormone production, energy, and everything like that. Also may help with a little bit of keeping you a little bit fuller as well. If you've been struggling, with that hunger in the first 2 weeks. And also help with flavor as well, flavor to your foods. Things might be getting a little bit bland at the moment, so it can just help with that as well.
So Sarah, what happens if I cook my olive oil, right? That's probably, we all throw a bit of olive oil.
I know there's a lot of
Jamie Oliver style. That's me.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of like controversy around, do we cook with olive oil? Do we not cook with it? Definitely, I don't know if Karen has a different opinion on this, but I'm sure, cooking with it is still fine as well. I think it just comes down to the smoke point of it.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, in terms of like health benefits and things like that, you're still getting those from the olive oil if you cook with it as well.
Yeah, so exactly what Sarah said. I think the main thing with olive oil is we've gone through so many different, I guess, guidelines with olive oil. For a long time it was you can cook with it, then we went to don't cook with it. It changed the chemical structure of it. It doesn't have the highest burning point. I think we are now at the you can cook with it. every now and again I will cook with it. I prefer cooking with ghee because I know that that does have a higher burning point. So the chances of changing that chemical structure within oil is less likely. So I think that's the main reason. It's because this olive oil is this contentious one that the guidelines just keep changing all the time. And there seems to be a really drastic difference in the quality of olive oil as well.
Mm.
And that seems to have an impact on the burning point of it.
I know that so when we do salmon a lot, we have really crispy skin salmon. So we like to really get the skin crispy. When we used to cook with olive oil for that, but going to ghee, the smoke that like you hardly get any smoke. You know, when you cook and get a really crispy skin, because you got to have it super hot. So yeah, that's pretty cool. There you go.
Anyone got any questions on the fats and oil?
Yeah. So something else.
Again.
Something else that I learned whilst doing the AI meal planner is flaxseed, even though it's not on your plan,
Everyone can have it.
everyone can have it.
Yes.
I did not know that. So there you go. I don't know if you guys knew that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
And look, probably just to add to it, we allow a little more flexibility with oils. So although we don't want you all to go out and start cooking with vegetable oil, adding flaxseed oil, even a little bit of olive oil, if olive oil is not on your plan, and some people do have it on your plan, on their plan, if you don't have it and you were to have some olive oil, it's really not going to be that detrimental. Flaxseed oil is probably one of the best oils for hormone production, which is why it seems to be more on, I have to say, female plans. It is on male plans as well, but I see it more on female plans for that hormonal production. But I would say if, like, when you're sort of more into that sort of more relaxed phase 2, when you're combining meals, going out and having meals, we can't always be in control of the oils that we're having. So when you're in control, use the oils you can. When you're not in control, that's fine. Every now and again, as we sort of move through phase 2, I know ourselves, we maybe sometimes use a little bit of sesame oil. So we'll use different types of oil as well, and that's absolutely fine.
Cool. So
fats and oils. So who's on fats and oils and at the end of their period introducing fats and oils? Okay. So once you introduce fats and oils, exercise can also resume again as well. Now, with exercise, there's 2 sides to exercise. So metabolic balance and getting you to your goals, we do not require exercise. However, exercise is great. I will always advocate for people to get out and move. At least 30 minutes a day movement, and that can be whatever you want it to be. So if it is going to the gym, if it is going for a run, if it was going for a cycle, a swim, I'm cool with all of that. If you don't want to exercise or you're not in a position to be able to exercise, even just doing housework, I hate to say it, walking around the shops, things like that. They're things as well. So that's the incidental exercise that you're getting. So the one thing metabolic balance can do, if this is your goal, is assist with weight loss. The one thing it can't do is tone. So and as part of it, toning should be a key part, building up strength, building muscle. Muscle will also increase our metabolic rate. So it will help us to probably get to our goals a little bit quicker, but we can still achieve it on the other side. So the one thing to be mindful of, though, when you add in exercise is the potential that you could become more hungry. And that will depend on the time of day that you exercise and how hard you're exercising and what your day has looked like. So just remember, the amounts on your plan are the minimum amounts we need you to eat. So we can increase these in this stage and work out where we need them to be. I personally find that I don't really need to adjust anything in my weights because I'm usually exercising before a meal. So I will either exercise in the morning or in the evening before we have dinner. And therefore, after that, I'm eating, I'm replenishing my protein, I'm replenishing my energy, and I'm absolutely fine. However, sometimes we may go for a run on a Sunday. If we've had breakfast at 7 and then we decide to go for a run at 9 o'clock, coming back from that, potentially I could be a little bit hungrier. I'd kind of be mindful around that, and then potentially bring lunch a little bit forward if I can. Make sure I drink water to see if water is actually what my body needs, and especially in the weather that we're having at the moment. Or if you need to, if you find that you then can't make it, what I'd probably say is touch base with Sarah or I, and we'll work out if we either need to put another meal in or just change things around a little bit. Any questions on?
Looks like Carmela has got her audio in. Hi.
Hello, sorry about that.
Hello.
Can you hear
Yay. Good job.
Miracles happen.
It's like your tech support has earned their dinner tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with the exercise, obviously just be mindful what you're doing, how you're introducing it, but you don't need to go crazy in this stage to actually still keep up with the results. Anyone got any questions? Oh, yep, go for it, Camilla.
I'm sorry, when you couldn't hear me, the flaxseed oil, I'm not to fry with that. Just use it cold. Just use it on salads, don't we? Cold or vegetables, cold.
Cold.
We don't fry with it, do we?
No. So flaxseed oil is one of those oils that does have to be used cold. That if you actually heat flaxseed oil, it will change the chemical structure of it, and then it causes a lot more concerns for us later on. Also, with flaxseed oil, if you have it on your plan, it does need to be kept in the fridge.
Okay, I haven't opened it yet, so I'll put it in the fridge.
Once it's open, pop it in the fridge. It can go rancid. I've had a lot of people with flaxseed oil on their plan, and they come and they go, oh my God, that was awful. It was the worst oil I've ever had. It tasted disgusting.
Okay.
Pretty certain most of those would have been rancid. So they could have been sitting on the shelf for too long. They could have been exposed to sunlight. They may be exposed to heat. So just be mindful, especially if you're buying it from a supermarket. I've noticed that the supermarkets are now starting to stock flaxseed. Just always check the sell-by dates and just see if you can work out how long it's been sitting on the shelf for.
Well, I believe I got it from you anyway.
Hopefully that one's okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. Thank you. Sorry.
No, you're welcome.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Anyone got any questions on exercise?
So if we're going to if we're going to up the exercise, go for a long bike ride, say, and it's one of those rides where you might want to feel like you need something along the way. What's the thought process? Obviously, that's getting out and doing a longer ride or working harder on the bike, but what's that look like? So
then we jump over to sports nutrition principles with your metabolic balance plan. So anything over about an hour of continuous hard exercise, you're going to deplete your energy reserves. So as far as carbohydrates go, you're probably going to need to replenish those along the way. We can calculate, and it is based off body weight, we can calculate how much additional carbohydrate you need if your exercise sessions are going to last longer than an hour. And then we can also give suggestions. And I might put all of this in the chat as to how we actually calculate it and the food suggestions. So I still always go to food first with exercise as well. So things like dates, even honey, all the things that we're probably not supposed to have as part of the metabolic plan, fruits.
Dried mango, for example.
You could have some dried mango, things like that. But obviously, again, it's making sure that you get the right amount of carbohydrates depending on how much energy your body has used. Okay. So I can throw all of that into the chat for those that are exercising for longer than that.
Cool.
Cool. Next one, we were just going to do a bit of a review of the meal plans. So I'll pass on to Scott for this one.
Okay, so just thought I'd share my screen for a little bit, which should work this time. Last time it didn't go so well. Just popping the meal planner up. There's going to be some changes for the meal planner. We're going to generate them for you tomorrow. So you'll all get your latest meal plan. So a couple of suggestions that we've implemented on this one, which is this is the latest one here. We're going to experiment with doing, say, just 3 meals per sort of category, if you will, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And the reason for that is to allow for your repetition there that we had spoken about. I think Belinda mentioned it. I certainly do it. Often I'll cook a meal and then I'll have it for leftovers the next day. So we've sort of just pared it back a little bit just to see how you guys find it. I certainly used the meal plan in anger on Saturday, which is when we do our shopping. And it was really quite good. We've had now quite a lot of the meals on the plan. Found it especially good in the no oils phase. So we will need to just make sure we get a list of people who are still on no oils, because we'll now start to introduce oils into the meal plan. So you'll get oils this round for those who are on oils. So we'll ask the question in the chat and just get you guys to come back to us with who's on oils or not, and it'll start to introduce oils. Also, the grocery list, it's better grouped now, and so in terms of, it sorts by protein first. So the first lot of grocery list items or ingredients are all your proteins, and then we go into the veg.
And they're in alphabetical order.
And they're in alphabetical order within those categories themselves. We've tried to also get at least the grams, etc. right. I mean, it still is a bit precise, and we'll get into rounding that out. Plus things like the classic pinch. Be pretty hard to buy a pinch of chili flakes, but basically it's just make sure you got chili flakes in the we'll look at changing that. So pretty much there's a lot more room now on the grocery lists for you to write your own things in. And one tip that I did, although I know Melissa is on the line there somewhere, but one tip that I did was I took a photo of my meal plan and grocery list, and then I actually used the edit photo function in my iPhone and grabbed a pencil, and then I just drilled them off as I was walking around the shopping list, and I could pan and zoom around, and because I didn't have my glasses on, I could make it really big font zoom, and I could absolutely nail it while I was walking around the shop. So that was pretty good. Melissa suggested an app that she used, and she actually then went through and put it into her app that she took to the grocery stores with her, which is really cool, because we haven't built the app interface out yet. We wanted to try to get the grocery list side of it right first. So we will be excluding some foods globally. So ostrich for this next round.
I guess with the exclusion of foods, what I'd love is probably feedback from everyone with foods. I don't want to assume to exclude anything.
Sure.
Like, I'm pretty certain that ostrich is going to be hard to find. And if someone wants an ostrich recipe, we can create that separately. Probably the same with pheasant. I don't think you tend to see too much pheasant in the shops these days. And there's also some fish as well that come up. So what we do have to do at the moment, so if I exclude something, it is pretty much going to be excluded for everybody, which is why I don't necessarily want to make the assumption as to what we take out. So if everyone can have a think and even just pop in the comments what you think you've had on your last one that you wouldn't actually use. And like I said, ostrich definitely, I think, is one of them. Has anyone actually eaten ostrich?
No.
No.
No, yeah.
No.
I think I go searching for So yeah, those kind of things, let's just get rid of them so that then we actually get more variety in the meals that it is generating.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was
Now,
gonna
ultimately, oh, sorry, you go.
I was just ignoring it, just swapping it with something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're trying to do it in the program, get it out, and
Yeah, ultimately the program's going to be in an app or a web form, if that makes sense, and you can choose to exclude items yourself. Like some people just may not like onion, for example. So you can just say, look, don't give me anything with onion, and it won't make your recipe with onion in it. So there's elements like that. So basically, when it's in that form, you'll get your meal, your ingredients lists. You'll have ingredients to exclude, and then basically it'll just go off and generate all your meals.
Could you start a food delivery service, please?
Yeah. So it is our goal to actually, we have already looked at the Woolworths API, or the Woolworths connectivity piece. And it does look very much like we're able to actually give you an online Woolworths cart with your grocery list in it and leave it with you so you can add toilet paper and get it delivered. So
no, I'm talking about the pre-made meals.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'll get busy in the kitchen, and
I'll do you a deal. Scott can cook them for you if he comes to your house.
Yeah.
Cleaning up afterwards is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
I do have a question about this, and I have to admit I haven't actually had an API meal yet. And look, I'm a very tech savvy person, but I just want some clarification. So this menu right here, you're going to put that in Nudge, right? And I just have to press PDF and it comes up on my phone.
Correct.
But if I want to print it out, I've got to go to my desktop.
No, you can, depending on your printer. So I print mine from my phone.
Okay, so it's all on my phone on the app. Yeah, I don't have to go to a different site to access.
No,
okay, that's
correct,
my clarification.
It depends on your printer too, but you know the usual little share button that you press when you're sharing photos?
Yeah.
If you click that, one of the options is
and take a photo. Yeah. Okay. Okay. No, that's fine.
I printed it and put it on the fridge, and that was good for everyone to know what was kind of coming up next. But when I went shopping with it, I literally I took a photo. Actually, I did print it. I took a photo of it, and then I locked my rotation on my phone, and then I just pinched and zoomed, walk around the markets and the supermarket.
Whereas if it was me, I would have printed it out and used it as paper.
Yeah, I just don't too many things to
Same
carry.
here.
Yeah, but and that's why we've done it this way, so that it's you can be using paper and do what you want and add your extra bits and pieces, or if you want it to be more tech, and ultimately it will be an app. So
we've made a few meals from it, and I have to say the ones that we have made, all of them have actually been great.
Really good. And this was during the no oils phase, so it was good to have such good variety during no oils. So that was really, really good.
Who else has excuse me.
Right. Who else has cooked with an AI meal app? I think Karen was saying before she has anyone else
I have made a couple. Yeah, they've been really good, the ones I've made.
Yeah, quite a few of them are actually things that I was doing anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't really strange.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. And you go, Melissa.
I was going to say, and I also just substituted. Like when it said pheasant, I just used chicken.
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter. I tried to find pheasant everywhere. You can buy pheasant in Melbourne, but it does not appear that you can buy it in Brisbane. And when it had a fish, and I was like, oh, okay, I don't have hake, but I've got salmon or something. So I just
we asked our local fish. I think we were looking for flounder, maybe, and that's what I've got on the list here. I'm showing you again, and she just said, "Oh, look, this type of whitefish is very similar." So,
I was going to say, did you find flounder? Because flounder's on my list as well. A few that I just can't find.
Yeah, so she substituted where she was sort of heading down the sea perch and that sort of way. So it is interesting to find out that some of the photos are fabulous that you're sending through, or you're all sending through as well. They look awesome. black-eyed peas or beans.
Beans we're struggling to find.
Couldn't find them anywhere in Brisbane.
Oh.
It seems. Went to Market Organics and Harris Farm and the local one. Just couldn't track down black-eyed peas or beans. So there you go. There was something else that we couldn't track down, but and I don't know if you're into Camel's milk or if any of you got Camel milk. Karen does, and she drinks that quite readily. Market Organics seem to have a fairly ready stock supply of Camel's milk if that's your go-to.
Can I say that you two look like you're shrinking?
We're shrinking.
Oh.
Well, it depends what we're doing. I'm actually playing with the. What do you
I
mean
can
by
actually
shrinking?
no. I can actually tell you've both lost weight.
Oh,
Like you
God,
both,
I
you
love that
both look
compliment.
so it's obvious.
Thank you.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Oh,
Thank you.
super. Yeah, well, yeah,
Look,
certainly
The
have.
results across the board
Yeah,
have been pretty
very
impressive.
Great.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons we've done this is to try to get that, it's my new plan time and get back into the vibe. But the community's just awesome to just boost us along. Everyone's sharing, everyone's doing their thing. So thank you for that. That's an awesome compliment.
Yeah, thank you.
Karen, how did you go with the lentil wrap thing you were going to do?
Yeah, didn't get to that. I'm onto it. Okay, that's
Don't.
Well done.
I just was asking. Don't. It's so precious.
No,
it's
good job.
no. Thank you for.
Oh, I don't want to give you.
Do you know what?
There was a few things
I actually have a day off tomorrow. So I'm going to do it for lunch.
That day off is our 26th wedding anniversary, isn't it?
Oh,
Congratulations.
Lovely.
So this time last year we were in India at the Taj Mahal. So not today, not this year. So that's a lovely compliment. So other things on the meal plan are really, it's just been becoming more optimized. And as we introduce the oils and fats, and there's loads of herbs now that we've put in and spices. So you should get a lot more diversity in and around that as well. And hopefully we don't have salt with porridge or potato in porridge.
No, I didn't even try
But
that.
we can't guarantee that.
Where do you get the feta cheese, the sheep's feta?
Yes.
Where did you get that? Woolworths.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in a green. Is that what we've got there?
Yeah.
I'll be back.
We actually got it. Actually, the last one I think I got where we live in West End. There's a Greek wholesaler, Greek shop, and they actually sell really big tubs of it, which was great because we go through it quite often.
Is that continental?
Yes.
No,
I
is
got
it Triton? Is that the one you go to, Karen? The big one?
No,
in the corner?
Triton's the other end. We're the other side of West End, and I think it's on the corner.
So that's it.
Yeah, I
there.
bought that one.
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't
Yeah.
skip on my computer.
Yeah, I got it at Coles at New Farm. It's a
Yeah,
it's
this is-
Bulgarian.
This
Yeah.
is pretty. Don't see ones this big in this bullet, but the Greek place across the road from us in West End does.
Yeah,
quite
definitely
big.
know that Woolies have it in as well.
We'll send a photo through.
And Harris Farm have it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a little tip that I found out the other day. So Scott has been having the Meredith Dairies
Goat cheese. How
goat
good?
cheese.
How good is
Oh, so good.
it?
Yeah,
Which
we love that one.
We like that.
and I
yeah.
found it cheaper in Market Organics than Woolworths.
Really?
Yeah, wow.
It was about $1.50 cheaper.
Wow.
So
Yep.
Good to
Cool.
know.
I know
Yeah.
sometimes like the organic stores can be quite expensive, but there's
No,
a new Market Organics
Yeah.
at
Kooparoo, Veranda.
class it as Wollongabba, but it's kind of in between everywhere. And yeah, they had it.
And they did. Oh, they were asking about camera milk.
Yeah.
They were going to stop that.
Anyone want anything additional? Not guaranteeing anything, but is there any kind of requests for the meal planner?
And I have got, so Melissa, you did post through a whole bunch of things that were really good. Some of the things I can think of at the top of my head. Melissa suggested that we actually put this as a breakfast
Yep.
next to that, so that you actually know when it kicks into your breakfast portions over your lunch and your dinner. So that is a good one. And there was a few others.
I did a full list of herbs and spices that I know are available in the shops. and they have now been put in as well.
and
So
that's what's happening here.
it will now, it seems to, it was interesting. Once we actually put those in, it seemed to stop giving salt and pepper for breakfast. It realized, but for some reason at one point, and I hope it, and if it is on there, the answer is no. It does like putting honey into things.
Yeah.
Even though we've told it no honey, for some reason it seems to think that honey's okay.
Yeah.
I won't do that now.
I think I put something in because mine had given me 4 eggs in a week.
Yes.
But then my plan from you is only 2 eggs a week. So something in the background.
Yeah. So there's just still, you know,
be
go back
mindful
to old
of your
school
own
and
science.
Stick with my plan. Yeah.
Stick
my
with your
plan.
but it's
Yes.
certainly taken a big leap this week forward. So
It's
looking
fantastic.
forward to you. So if you're happy, there was a suggestion that we go to 3. If we run with that this week and see how you go with your blank spaces, then that's cool. But otherwise, let us know and we can tune it up to 4 or 5 or more.
One question that you had, Mark, was around additional foods coming in as we move through the different phases, sort of phase 2 into phase 3 into phase 4. What we will do once we open everything up is we will open this up to all foods that we classify as metabolically balanced type foods. So everyone's phase 4 list ends up being exactly the same. Now, what we can't do if we do that is take certain foods out for everybody. So you've then got to be mindful at that point. If there's a food that you know doesn't agree with you, just don't include it.
Yeah, you can put it in the exclusions list. Yeah.
So we just want to keep kind of progressing and expanding these lists so that people get more and more variety as we move through.
Super.
I think the only other thing that I have written down is just making sure we've got clarification on additional condiments and things that are probably not going to show up on the meal planner. So going to mustards, vinegars, chili oils, balsamics, all of those things. So look at the ingredients that's on them. If any of the ingredients contain sugars, additives, or preservatives, then no. If they don't, so with mustard, and I know we talked about mustard last time, if it is mustard seeds, salt, and vinegar, a little bit of citric acid is okay, then you're absolutely fine with those. They're things that can just be made purely from the spices themselves.
A couple we found. We got this from Harris Farm. Hopefully that's coming through okay. I'll probably shop sharing my screen to make it easier for everyone. Hang on, let me just move some stuff around. 1 second. New share, stop share. So we've got, it's called beef Beaufort. That has, it's actually also got a little bit of bite to it as well. Super on steaks and lamb and or chicken. Goes pretty good. And then this whole grain, I've been grabbing that brand with and just getting a like a coleslaw like mix out of whatever veg I've got, and then mixing that through with some of the Dijon as well. And it's just made a really kind of zesty coleslaw. So there's a couple of brands there.
We bought some Tabasco as well. I think Scott tried that. That's
who's had Tabasco? Damn, that can light up a room.
Yeah.
Wow, I went a bit liberal with the Tabasco and then regretted it.
Where'd you get those from, Scott? Sorry.
These were from Harris Farms. These two in West End, or there's a Harris Farm at Sandgate Road.
Numa.
Clayfield, near me. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So that was those ones. Tabasco sauce was hot.
Yeah, a lot of health food stores will do those sort of mustards as well.
We'll send through a photograph in the app, so that way you've got the label on the brand, and you might be able to track them down. But they're really tasty, really nice. And
I'm actually going to attempt as well this week making a mayonnaise with oil and eggs, so that we can have it with
Well, you did that
like
well.
curried eggs.
You've done that before.
Yeah, I've never been very good at making the mayonnaise. I'm going to give that a go
Challenge.
as well. So yeah, if you always go back to your protein as well, and so somebody else put in about bone broth in the messages. So yes, bone broth is okay at a meal time if it is using the same bones as your protein. So chicken bone broth, if you're having chicken, absolutely fine. Beef bone broth, if you're having beef. The vegetable broths, again, look at the ingredients as to what's on them. And with vegetable broth, probably I'm going to go a little bit more relaxed here. If a vegetable broth contains a vegetable that is not on your plan, if you're not allergic to it, you're absolutely fine to have it in that form.
Cool.
I think that's it from us. Anyone? Pardon?
Not doing treat.
Oh, treat meals. Okay, yes, treat meals. Obviously, coming off the back of a strict phase, that's when treat meals come in. So I'll just go through the treat guidelines. So a treat meal is a treat meal, not a treat day, treat two meals, not a weekend,
not a cheat meal.
not a cheat. It is not a cheat. You are not cheating on anything. You are treating yourself to something.
Treat.
It's only been 4 years and Scott still calls it a treat meal. I think more to annoy me now than anything else.
Would I do that, dear?
So yeah, so you're treating yourself something. And the most important thing with that is treat yourself to something you want.
Chips and gravy, says Mark.
Yeah, chips and gravy, says Mark.
That's a cheat meal too. A treat meal wouldn't be chips and gravy.
Yeah. With the treat meal, your other two meals should be your meals on plan, but cut out any bread or fruit that day, but you still need to have an apple. So still make sure you have your apple. Within the treat meals as well, remember to eat protein first. Make sure you're hitting your water and aim for a little bit of extra water, especially before and after the meal. If you read the treat guidelines in the folder, it does tell you to have a gap of 15 minutes between courses and resume a meal with a bite of protein. If you're out at a restaurant and they bring the second course out within 5 minutes, don't wait 15 minutes. It's going to go cold. I don't think you need to do that. If you opt for chocolate, 70% dark chocolate would be the preference.
So yeah. So when can we have chocolate?
Not yet.
Oh.
On a treat meal, not a daily meal. And alcohol, yep, alcohol can come back in, but alcohol, water. As a lot of you...
Beer and chips and gravy.
And just be mindful. And a treat meal, so there's a couple of reasons. One, we want you to enjoy a meal. So you should be enjoying it and treating yourself to something that you really enjoy. But also as well, you're checking to see what your body likes. If you eat something that your body doesn't like, it's going to tell you. You're going to get a reaction to it. If you have spaghetti carbonara and garlic bread, pretty much guarantee you're not going to feel great the next day. You're going to feel bloated. You might not sleep that well. So just be mindful around what those treat meals are and what you actually want to have within those.
Yes, indeed.
Anyone got any questions on treat meals?
No, but can I ask you a quick question about skin on salmon, skin off salmon? Because I love skin on salmon, but some people say, no, you shouldn't have the skin. Because I like you, I love it crispy and crunchy as part of salmon. It doesn't matter. Like it's just okay.
No.
Yeah. So it's a good oil skin. Like the skin's good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
One question in regards to red lentil pasta.
Yeah.
I found some. So that's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
look, I normally say hold off on the red lentil pasta for a couple of weeks post being in the relaxed phase, just
Okay,
because
then.
it is processed a little bit.
Yes, that's what I thought. Yeah.
But once, like as you move through, once a week, it's really not going to do you any harm.
Try some.
Okay.
Yeah, we tend to use celeriac as pasta. If you've got celeriac on your plan, we will slice that up and sort of turn that into a bit of a pasta.
We learned that from Spices, didn't we?
Yeah.
Went to Spices and they had celeriac pasta, and I was like, what's this? And it was literally strips of celeriac, just shaped like fettuccine, and
Beautiful.
it's really nice.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone got any questions?
Karen,
Yeah.
hello.
Hello.
How particular do we need to be with the meat? So if it's lamb fillet, at times it's still okay to have other cuts of lamb?
Yeah, look, yes and no. So the further you're in and the closer you are to where you want to be, then I allow a little bit more flexibility. So what I'd say is look at the cut of meat. So if it's a lamb fillet that's on your plan, lamb fillet doesn't typically have a lot of fat in it. So I wouldn't then go and have a lamb chop.
Okay, yeah.
So consider what the cut of the meat is and how probably lean the meat is as to where I would allow flexibility within that. So the one thing I'm not keen on is mince. So if you've got beef on your plan, even beef fillet, I wouldn't recommend having beef mince at this stage because we just don't know what part of the animal that's from. I tend to, we actually had mince obviously tonight, but I minced it myself. So we actually had a fillet.
Yeah, no, it was a big fillet. Yeah.
Beef fillet, and we cut it up and then I minced it. You can actually go to butchers and get them to mince it for you if they're not busy. If they're busy, they might not do it, but a lot of your traditional butchers will actually mince different cuts of meat for you as well.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
I actually had 2 lamb chops last night, but I actually cut the meat out of the chop.
Yep.
Yeah, so I didn't actually cook it with the the bone. Yeah, so there was no fat on it.
Yeah. And that's probably the hardest thing with chops in the early stages of being on a plan is how do you assess how heavy the bone is and how heavy the meat is and that sort of thing. So yeah, it still tastes the same if you cut it off the bone, and then at least you can be more accurate in where those measurements are. But typically the guideline is if there is fat on the meat or the fish and it is part of the meat, it's okay if you can tolerate it. Some people just can't tolerate that much meat or fat on a meat. Some people don't like it. So then obviously discard it.
Cool. Well, we're to time.
We're to time. Wow.
Yeah. Is there any other questions? If not, so just run through a few things. Next week, we've actually got Zoe Slater coming on. She's our practice psychologist and counselor. So she's going to come in and just have a talk about blockages or sabotaging around food. So thought that would be a nice little piece. So she's going to speak for 15 or so minutes in our next session. So more than welcome to dial in and tune in for that one. And then next week, though, I do believe that we may be dialing back to a Thursday night again. I just need to double check that, but I'll get the date out. We just sort of cascaded it through. Seems like Tuesday's fairly accessible for people, and Thursdays were pretty good. So we'll probably aim to stick around those days. The other thing is we were going to go for a walk, a bit of a walk or run this weekend at Mount Cootha, and we're going to throw it out to if anyone wanted to meet up. To start and just go for it. You can walk part of the way at Mount Cootha, or for those who are keen to run it, but we just thought we'd meet up, do that. There's a cool little coffee van down the bottom of the Slaughter Falls car park, and thought we'll get out and do some moving on Sunday morning. So we will post that, and people can don their caps and come for a walk, and that would be something different. But no pressure. We were heading out anyway, and we thought that we'd just have a shout out and see who'd like to turn up. So if you're in the mood and you want to put your walking gear on, feel free. We'd love to catch up in person rather than over the electronic airways. That'd
You
be
have
really
to
cool.
put up with Scott complaining. but-
Yeah, I whinge quite a bit when I'm walking. And
Thank you for our hats. We love them too.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Did everybody
I haven't
get
got
that?
No, I haven't got mine yet.
Oh, haven't you got, it would have gone to
To Townsville.
Townsville.
Yeah. I checked on the weekend when I was there and it wasn't there yet. But we've
Okay,
been in
I'll
Brisbane
send you
all
a
week.
message, Jane, just to make sure that I've got the correct details and that they
All
haven't
right.
gone somewhere else. And
Yeah.
how long are you in Brisbane for?
Till Friday, and then we're flying to Melbourne for the weekend for the races.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Good.
Back in Brisbane on Monday night. So.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, what I can do is make sure I can get them to you in Brisbane anyway.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I'll touch base with you after this and make sure I've got the details.
Okay.
You've got correct.
Super. All right. Well, have a very good night. And hopefully, if you haven't eaten yet, you're going to have a nice meal. Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
is it bok choy?
That is bok choy and asparagus ready for steaming, and salmon ready to be cooked in
there
ghee.
you go, with some ghee. Nice. Well, yeah, enjoy. And yeah, we'll shout out with some cards to let you know about Sunday. We got Zoe Slater coming on next week, who's psychologist and counselor, so she should be great. And then the week after that, we're in Vietnam, but we will be dialing in from Vietnam and telling you how we're sticking to our plan while we're in Vietnam. That's almost
Yes, if anyone's been to Vietnam, please post suggestions. We have never been to Vietnam before and
loved it. I was there for 3 weeks.
Super. Yeah, we're just on to. So
and I'm trying to work out how to actually navigate the food, but
it's what it is, and we'll get by. So that's what it's all about.
Banh mi is definitely not on the agenda.
Yeah, no buns.
I remember eating a lot in Vietnam there, and I never got sick, so it must have been okay. Every street corner, there's some old lady or old man just cooking and selling meat on a stick.
There you go. That's what it's all about.
There you go. I had lots of meat on a stick. It could have been any kind of miscellaneous meat.
I just hope I can pick the cut.
So you've always got meat on a stick.
Interesting cuts on my plan, but
And we've actually got some scales that fold up, like little scales that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've actually got 3 sets in the clinic, just up on the counter.
Another show and tell.
Because I could with all the traveling I could do.
Can you put all this up? This is great.
Yeah, I could really do with some of those.
Yeah. I've got there's 3 sets in the clinic.
Oh,
wow.
Hey.
They go like that, and then they hold out like that, and that's a little digital readout on there.
That's cool.
Does it weigh your suitcase as well?
No,
I don't think it goes that high. It's a nifty little thing.
So Karen, if I came down tomorrow, will there be somebody there? I know you said you're not working.
not tomorrow, but Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
All right, I can drop down Thursday.
Yeah, drop down Thursday. I'll put one aside, and
Lovely.
I'll have the caps for you as well.
Great.
Okay, team. Awesome.
Amazing. Well, lovely to see you all. Have an amazing evening, and thank you everyone for your energy and enthusiasm.
Everyone's
it's been
helping
great.
everyone get along. So it's great.
As I've said before, I've pretty much stuck to MB for the last sort of 4 years, and there's been times where I've gone, no, this is it. We'll be strict, and we don't last as long as we probably should. And this time, it's been great.
Yeah. I think I mentioned to everyone that I hit my goal weight that I set 4 years ago. Again, I'm going for a different weight this time, and I'm using weight as my main measure, as one of the measures. And so stoked that I hit that only 3 weeks in. Like, that was great. And so thrilled. And everyone's really helping us out, and together we're egging each other on, which is awesome. So, all right, well,
thank you,
over and out. We might see some of you on Sunday. We'll put the messages up, and watch out for what's called Tina's Gorgeous Chicken Curry as well. Ooh. It's a hit, And
It's
you will like it.
It was actually supposed to be Tina's gorgeous chicken curry, but when Scott actually wrote it and posted it, he called it gorgeous Tina's chicken curry.
And I did meet Tina, and she is gorgeous, so I kind of worked out okay anyway. So that was all right. So there you go. So that's super. All right, gang. Fantastic.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.